on the last tape we made this storage rack for the bombers. That was a big help in getting us able to organize the shop here. One of many exciting things that's happened upgrading our little operation here. We've been working in our yard on a regular basis, trying to get all our flowers in so that summer is due to start in a couple of weeks. And this time of year we always really enjoy every evening just getting a little bit of time out in the yard, eating outside, barbecuing outside. And believe it or not, we have a baby. I don't know if it's a woodpecker or what, but there's a baby. We're trying not to disturb this. Looks like a black and white little baby woodpecker has made a nest out of one of Karen's birdhouses. And we have so many baby fish you can't even count them. I just try to avoid this area because we do have a pair of cardinals nesting right in the entryway. And I think that's not unusual for cardinals to do that. We've blocked off the entryway here. But we'll catch them eventually. You know, it's just that time of year that it gets exciting. Feeding the fish every morning, listening to the birds, checking out the flowers, and of course, we hope getting some time this week down at the flying field. Now, today's job is going to be, and I think once every so often I have to do this. I have to just tear the toolbox apart and sort through all my parts and get them organized and get all my stuff that I think I need in one bag, like all the tune pipe stuff in one bag, and all the special mounting hardware and special exhausts in another container. But what I did this year, this is the old toolbox, and you can see what's happened over the years. It's cracked, it's broken. Everything starts to get homogenized and mixed up, and taps are where drills should be, and drills are where screws should be, and just whatnot. And what's happened is the lid is one of the clamps is broken, this is broken. So it's just a good idea every once in a while. These things don't last that long. I want to get the stuff organized, and I want to have, and this is just I guess, general maintenance. I wound up buying, and try to get the label off of this, but it doesn't look like the label's coming off. The label's like a Sears Roebuck advertisement here. Even M600 doesn't take it off. Look at this nonsense. I don't want to advertise Sears. This is Bomber Command. I'm going to put a Bomber Command decal there. Anyway, what this thing is, it's a giant toolbox. Trays go inside. They all stack. And the reason for doing this, and of course a handle comes up so you can carry it like a suitcase. And they had these on sale for $39 at Sears Roebuck, so I just couldn't resist buying one. And what happens, that stacks in, that stacks in, that stacks in, and everything. By the time you're done, you've got one little compact thing instead of what we have is 10 toolboxes with props. You can see all the junk that I've been accumulating. And I want to organize it so I have a little bit more organization. Basically, when we get to the field and we're doing especially little repairs where you're looking for a certain screw or O-ring or something, you got to go through that box. In the course of 4 or 5 years has just become a nightmare. So it's a rainy day, it's a good day to do this, and hope we're going to get out and fly the Bomber this weekend. That's it's always the goal, but it just doesn't seem to be happening as often as we'd like. Part of getting this, well, Chicky, stop it. I tried to get things organized so that they make sense. In other words, glow plugs, new glow plugs, things that relate to engines, air filters, trim tabs, fuel filters. Everything in this box kind of relates to what would be for engines. Try to have all the miscellaneous stuff in another box, taps, drills. Although none of this is critical, it just seems like where it would fit. And getting everything organized like this, Now this is what's nice about this Sears Toolbox. You have a flat spot, and I try to keep everything in plastic bags just to keep it neat. These are little containers that Les found that all snap together, and you can basically open them up, and there's your line clips and things like that. So we try to get this kind of thing organized, and you can see what happens. And of course the big one fits into the big toolbox, and then these fit underneath. So pretty much, well, we have two of these, pretty much everything here kind of fits and makes sense. And I think that's really a big asset for us anyway. Even though it's not a, well, this is our engine parts, nuts, washers, gaskets, exhaust parts. What happens is I try to put at the bottom of the case the things that we're going to use the least, things further up on top of the case that we use just a little more frequently, and the things we use pretty much all the time, they lock in right up here. And of course this pulls out a tray. And what's nice is we even have a couple extra of the little trays. I still got to figure out what the story is with this. That locks up. Now the choices that you have, and this is what's nice. You have this choice, you can pick it up, do push-ups, or you can wheel it like a suitcase. And that was a nice little addition to our getting ready for the season. So we're going to run it on the ground again, just to see what we have and see if anything's loose. We got a flight on a bomber, hooray! Got me why the other one died. We didn't have half the problem. All of a sudden. He's out. The cardinal is in his nest. He's feeding the babies in the nest. This is so exciting. The first time we've ever had cardinals. And they are enjoying raising a family here in downtown Rutherford. Bomber Command. He's choking us out. He's choking us out. Got his mate sitting on the little chicks in there right now. This is such a cool thing. Now take a minute break from our model aviation here. We're right across the street from Fairleigh Dickinson University. It's our friend's house, Art and Mona, Raspberry Yoda, and they invited us over here. But I have a sneaking feeling I know what this is all about. Now, for about the last 2 or 3 years, every time they come over to our backyard, they say, gee, what a nice pond. Gee, I wish I had a pond. And I have a feeling that they've started digging a pond here. So check this out. Anybody wants to have a pond, this is how it starts. It always starts with a little, oh, I'll just get a little baby thing and I'll have a few fish and then I'll do this and then I'll do that. And all of a sudden you realize you're not happy until you have the Atlantic Ocean in your backyard. And so to preserve for all eternity the joy of ponding. Boy, you guys are having more fun. This is how it all starts, Art. You know, if you got anybody in your family you're not real happy with the way their relationship with you is working out, this is the time to bury them. Let them sleep with the fishes.
They bury the hatchet. Sleep under the fishes.
Sleep under the fishes. I got the pump here if you're ready for it. You want me to set it up?
Sure. There's a wedding album sometime.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it.
We want to see the Sopranos episode that you're going to have here to bury Tony in the backyard. Hey, Tony, going to bury you in the pond. Up at the club field, and this is their little profile contest, but Danny did the repair on the Mustang. This looks like a great repair. You got the right idea with the black, Dan.
Make the black real big.
You should have made it into a Beguine or something. That's a great. It looks better now than before you crashed it. You gotta go out and whack it again.
Well, I did buff it up a bit.
No, the black stripes definitely look good. That was a great idea.
Yeah, I had to widen them and stuff, but hell, it wasn't.
Yeah, right. Now it'll probably be 2 rows further up than that first year they gave you the schmazoo.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh, man. Yeah, it looks good.
And I learned something about Sig paint, Sig thinner in cold weather.
Yeah. Don't go there.
Don't go there. No,
People might be eating while they read this. You don't want to talk about that.
I was in the shop, man, pushing panel lines back into position.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
It really came out well. I'm very surprised. You know what looks better? The nose.
I refinished the black up here.
Yes.
Instead of trying to just do the little repair, I just took it all the way out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that definitely looks good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Definitely. How much weight did it add? Did you weigh it all up?
No.
Don't even think about it. All that nonsense about this light, forget it. It'd probably fly better. Don't grab tradition. Every time it gets heavier, it flies better.
My 60-ounce plane flies better than my 50-ounce plane.
Alan, want to take a walk? Okay. Hey, Danny. Hey, Rich. Boy, I'm sorry to hear about the Stuka there.
That's all right. Just think how Herman Goering must have felt.
He's just jealous of your repair. And he says, now that you're the repair king, you can fix his Stuka too.
Hey, I got to give him an equal handshake.
How are you? Good, good. You all ready for the world? Hey.
Hello there.
I won't be at you all. It's the speed model. I'd hate to see his stunt model.
37 mile an hour. You hit a note on it.
We hit him where it hurts.
He was dizzy when he was done with it.
Oh, let's see Jimmy's plane.
That's what I want to try to
Well, when Jose sees this, you're in.
Wow, man. So this is water-based paint?
Yeah. Yeah, it's water-based.
What kind of, what's it called?
AutoAir. You go on the computer, look at AutoAir.com. It's made by
AutoAir?
AutoAircolors.com.
That looks great in the sun.
And it's fuel-proof and everything?
No, the clear makes it fuel. It's cleared with Rodak.
Oh, okay.
They clear it with urethane for cars and all, but this is Rodak.
And it'll take, the dope won't affect it at all?
No problem on it.
Okay. Well, I love the color.
bad about that.
The metal flake and everything.
Yes.
Oh, look, hey, checkerboards, all right.
My father's lot.
He must have been watching you repair that Mustang. They got jealous of how many checkerboards. We're doing a checker count later.
I'm going to do an airplane in checkerboard. The next one will be entirely checkerboard, right down the middle. This side will be black, one side will be white. Two checkers. That's
Great idea. I do mine all white. The other checker's the shadow.
The shadow. Hey, that's even better. What engine?
Roger here.
Oh!
Average lap speed for the race.
What'd they put, 2 engines in it?
I don't know, man. They found some zippers. And what the heck was it? What was it? The highest lap speed, 512 or something like that.
Oh.
Average lap speed.
What about the bear? The bear didn't go? Or?
I don't know about that. I just saw a little thing Mike showed me, just a report on Dago Red.
Oh,
I
man.
think the rare bear might have out-qualified it, but man, Dago Red.
It's the race that counts, so.
Yeah, exactly. 25.
Okay, tell me what it is. You bought it from Casminato.
Casminato, it's an ARF. Me and Bob Lampione.
Okay.
We fell in love with the looks of the airplane, and
Flies good?
it flies excellent. I have he recommends an LA 25.
Okay.
I put an
How much it
MPS.
cost?
Well, the cost is a little high because the shipping involved.
Yeah, of course.
It was like $100 a quarter.
Okay, that's not unreasonable. What's wrong with that?
The plane, it
Flies good?
Look at the lead-out cables in this thing.
Yeah, he's got like bomber cables in
Bomber
there.
cable, Brodak bell crank, Brodak tank.
Good.
It's a real quality kit. Very.
And how much work? One night to put it together?
Not even a night. It goes together so fast.
Okay, blew the wing in.
It's a solid fuselage. It's a solid fuselage. He cuts the holes for the tank is inserted. He
Okay.
cuts the holes for the straps. And all you have to do is drill the holes for the motor.
Beautiful. This is a nice little plane.
Oh, it flies beautifully.
Red Baron decals on the side. I like those Red Baron.
It flies really, for
Look at
this
this.
size airplane, it's,
I wonder if Kaz knows he's got to pay a royalty to Steve Hinton for using that Red Baron decal. Steve, I'm going to send you a copy of this video soon.
well, the Red Baron, it comes on the Breitling, I believe.
See it? The Jets plane? What are you guys, into choppers here or something?
This is Jose's,
Okay.
This is his prototype. He gave me all the parts that he had laying around that didn't quite come out right.
Yeah, so
And
what?
I put it together. So
It's a Jets plane, New York Hawk. Oh, very cute. Very cute. But you guys are watching too many episodes of Choppers here.
LA 46. This
Yeah.
thing flies beautiful.
Yeah, good.
It really is nice. It's carbon. It's a carbon.
Yeah, I know. It's the carbon fiber with the like fake
balsa wood.
ribs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Fuselage.
Yeah. How much your weight?
It's a lead sled. It's
How
60
much?
ounces.
It's not that big.
Oh, it flies unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Well, it doesn't look very promising this morning, but we're going to make the little trip down to the field and see if anybody's there. It's drizzling. Yeah. But it's supposed to clear up, so usually when they predict that, it never clears up. Anyway, the tree-lined streets of Rutherford are beautiful early in the morning like this. Believe it or not, the rain has stopped, and they're predicting, well, we don't know what they're predicting. You never can tell. I got 3 flights so far before Keith and Michael got here with using Jerry Phelps's prop and a little jet spinner that seems to be working out real well. 2 little additions we made to the plane in Texas. It doesn't look like they're going to come off the plane either. Is the original one, Keith, or you got the other one finished? Is the original one? And the way it was raining this morning, any flying we get right now is free, because I was thinking this would be just a write-off. I was just totally convinced I'm going to sit in the car and write Stump News all afternoon. And Jacobone's supposed to have his Stuka ready for tomorrow, the new Stuka. This is Keith's first flight of the season here, and it's his first flight at the new field. Whoa! Anyway, just to give a little report, we have been flying, and I got 3 flights before Keith and Michael got here. With the prop that Rich Oliver pitched for us, it's a Jerry Phelps prop, but it's got Rich Oliver's pitching in it. And I have one that has just a little more pitch, one that has just a little less pitch now but the one that's on there felt pretty good for the 3 flights, so what I really need to do is find the edge or find a point in the day where it's too windy to fly that or whatever. Find some reason to change it. Right now it looks like that's Rich Oliver had it right on the money. So we have 4 altogether. Kent has 1. I have 3 right now, but we're going to ultimately have them all at Brodax and see if we can help some of the guys with the jets dial them in. If you have a Jet 61 or a 65, I'd highly suggest getting a couple of them. Jerry Phelps is selling them. They come balanced but not pitched, and if you need me to pitch them, just mail it to me and I'll pitch it. You can pitch it right off the gauge I made for that prop. Or if you think Rich Oliver's better than I am, and I do, send it to Rich. I'm sure he'll be glad to pitch it for you. So it's good to see Keith back at the field. Good to see Michael. His first time this year. Michael has, of course, in the past helped coaching. With coaching, I don't think we're going to do any coaching today, but we're just glad we're getting a couple flights, because this morning when I left the house, it was raining. It was looking like maybe it wasn't going to be a good day, and any flights we get are just free lunch. And we were supposed to have Mark Sciano stop by with his new Cardinal for his first flight, but I don't think he's going to make it. Well, it's after 8 o'clock. He said if he didn't be here by 8, he couldn't make it. He might have to work. Whoa, whoa, woo! All right, Keith. Nothing like a little excitement to start the season off. Who fueled that plane, Michael? Get all the guys to sign them.
Yeah.
That's a nice design. Excellent. You've got good taste in T-shirts.
Cook design them.
Yeah, no, David, jeez, the flags are a nice thing.
What's unique about this?
Are they the real flags, though? I mean, did he just pick flags out of a catalog or something?
The one that's missing is the British. I don't know. I didn't pay any attention.
Oh, yeah, no English flag. Ooh.
Which is good. They're keeping the English allowed anyhow.
Well, how many countries? I can't count. I mean, is it 20 countries or something?
I don't know.
How many countries participate in this?
I don't know. This year they have a lot because we have, I think half of them are going to defect.
Yeah. Yeah, they've already asked to move in with Wendy at the Spitfire bedroom. Keith, put more gas in it this time. That was pretty exciting. I was hoping you weren't going to have a little incident there. What? Keith is making some handle adjustments. I took a flight on his Cavalier and it flies real well. But we're trying to make the handle a little bit smaller, get the lead outs back a little bit, and maybe a ½ ounce of nose weight just to desensitize it. It's really like a little sports car. It flies really well too. So we're actually using a day that probably wouldn't be a good day for putting in bottoms for something like this, where trimming a plane is always a good thing. All right, Raul, what is this, the Warbird collection here?
Yeah, it's like racing.
What is this, for racing?
Yeah.
How fast do they go?
It's about 100 miles.
100 miles an hour? I mean, what are they, they're team racing, or all by yourself you race?
No. It's the same called...
Clown racing? What is the name of the event?
Warbird.
A Warbird, okay. Yeah, that's cool. And what kind of motor is that? An Irvine, of course.
36.
36 Irvine?
Yeah, this.
And this goes 100 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Cool. You're not allowed to use a tune pipe on it, though, right? No tune pipes?
No.
Watch, you got a clip.
Yeah,
Clip.
I think.
You know what? Okay. This is a good idea I never thought of. When you're on a dusty field like this, put a sandwich bag over the motor. That's a pretty good idea. Now, right across the river, they have model boats going. We heard them running before. One of the planes we got a lot of luck trimming out in the past. I got to fly this. It's a good flying Kodak Cardinal with an LA-46, stock LA-46.
I'm afraid that I can't get up and I'd fall into the front. Once the airplane started, I don't even have to fly. I can just reach down and
Not happy. Brian's not happy. Hey, Raul, what is this? Freddy Krueger? Looks like something from Freddy Krueger. What's this all about? For team racing? How do you use that? Oh, for flipping a prop? Oh. See, you learn something every day. It looks like Freddy Krueger with the knives, you know, the horror movie?
No, this is for the, you go to the archer.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Buy that.
Yeah, okay. And what Tom Hampshire has done, and I'm going to do a little storyboard about this, he made us up another set of Venturis, some extra prop nuts, and we're going to basically, in the course of the day, put the bomber back together for some more testing. I made these little reinforcements to triangulate the motor mounts out of carbon fiber. I'm not sure that's simply carbon fiber reinforcements. And again, I want to do a little storyboard as to where we are with the trim of the plane, so you can kind of follow along with what we've come up to the conclusion so far. We've had 2 days of flying on it, and believe me, we are as happy as could be. We're still making some minor adjustments. I just thought I'd put on some of the things that we've learned, and we've learned something I think we're going to be able to use. The first couple of flights we had, Jim Damerol was helping us with the footage. I'm trying to sketch this out. And because of the dihedral in the wing, it was really hard to figure exactly where the wing was when it came to the mean average point of level, because of course inverted it was down the other way. So it was hard, and having a video really helped. But what we did wind up doing is right here, what I wound up doing, made these little clamps that are lucky boxes, and this is really good information, and we're going to use this in all future planes, and I would suggest anybody using lucky boxes. In fact, our next project is slated to be the Tiger Cat, so it will have lucky boxes. When you have lucky boxes, the problem is even a couple of thousandths of slop in here translates into quite a bit of flap movement out at the end of the flap. So to cure that, I made these little, I'll call them clamps for lack of a better word, but there's a better way with a blind nut in here, and it just basically clamps pressure, and I can adjust the slop. Once I got the slop to minimize, the wing was pretty level, so I didn't really need to fool with it that much. But having a control over the slop, this was something I'll not wait until the plane is built to build into the plane. And what I thought about doing the next plane, instead of using 1/4-inch flaps, I'll just simply use 3/8 flaps and try to build that with just the slightest little blister, which doesn't seem offensive at all. In fact, you could even make the blister in the future, like a little, like a pistachio shell, I guess. But then having that screw to adjust having adjustable lucky boxes has proven to be already 2 days of flying this a critical thing for getting this wing exactly how we want it. And I was able to do it right at the field with an Allen wrench. So that really saved me. The other problem that we're working around, the front to back CG is right about at 15% of the mean average quarter to wing, which is a great starting point. But what's happened, a lot of this plane is below the CG. In fact, almost the whole plane is below it. Motors, tanks, and everything. So I've made lighter wheels, same as the B-25, and that's on one of the B-25 videos for the subscribers. And I've tried to, in every way, make the gear as short as possible and still have clearance to fly on grass. I have 2 sets of gear now. The tanks, because they're carbon, they save a couple ounces. But every time I get some weight off the bottom, it's definitely better. Now, what I may or may not do at some future time, just as a test, is put some clay on the top of the rudder and balance the vertical CG just to see if it's going to make any difference. As of right now, it seems like it's in pretty good trim. But we've had one other issue that you have with all twin-engine planes, and that's resonance. And what would happen when we would test run the engines, and I put some of that footage on, we've done that a lot, is I'd run the outer engine, everything would be fine. The inner engine, everything would be fine. And what would happen is, then when both engines hit their same 2-cycle at the same time, you could feel it was resonating. So there's a lot of ways to make that better. What I did is I took the motor mounts and put this little triangle piece of carbon fiber underneath it. And if that gets better, then I'll put a piece on top. If it doesn't get better, then I know I'm not dealing with the right area. But maybe I should have done that, and then when I thought about it, the B-25 already has this in it, so maybe I just left out a step that I shouldn't have. Could be, but dealing with resonance, there's a lot of ways of changing it. You can change the props. You can change anything that changes the RPM range, and now in our case, we have different Venturis now. We have the stock ones, and one's a little smaller and one's a lot smaller. So we'll find a resonant range where it doesn't resonate. The other thing is to keep the 2 engines running at different RPMs. Keep the inner engine running a little bit harder, maybe with a little less pitch. Outer one a little slower with a little more pitch. And again, that's something we're going to be fooling with since we have a whole stick of propellers. We have about 25 propellers for this plane already. But I think what's happened is eventually we're going to have to settle in on what we want to have here. And if it doesn't get better, well, we got to live with it, but it's flying well enough that I'm happy with it. I just would like to get it that I have even more choices. We have the grass gear done, we have the adjustable lucky boxes, we have the wing level, and this is the next thing, the next fly-in day we have is to test some propellers, get the smaller Venturis in a plane, and test the resonance, and see if that's going to just make it better than it is now. As of right now, we're flying stunt patterns, and it seems like the plane has a lot of potential. But let me show you what we're planning in the very near future. In fact, we've already started working on it. We don't even have this plane done, and we're starting on another. Not sure if this line drawing is going to be good enough to use. Anyway, this was the initial concept for a Tiger Cat. And I sent this out to all the people that I normally email things out to, just to see if they thought there was any potential. And Dave Downey has agreed to do some work and pre-planning this, but we're going to start working on drawings and working on some concepts. But this is going to be one of our projects. May not be the next project. We still want to finish our 40 ship, but unfortunately that's been put on the back burner for a lot of reasons, one of which is the health of Les's mom. And we're just going to wait until Les and I can work on the 40 ship full-time. But in the meantime, I can start planning and accumulating pictures and data for Tiger Cat. So if anybody has any, and they'd like to share it with us, we'd be more than happy to take it off your hands temporarily. What's been nice is because we have the rack now to store the bombers, we've been able to move our molding table out into the open, and we're starting to make up some more fuel tanks, what I'm going to be doing. The 5-ounce tanks that are in there are definitely too big, so I'm going to make up a pair of 4-ounce tanks. I've got the shells and the thick mold compression parts done. I've got the end caps done for anybody who's never seen one of these little carbon fiber tanks. We're going to be making up a couple of 4-ounce tanks, and the next time, the fuel consumption on the plane is definitely around 4 ounces, not 5, but I wanted to have that option But it saves me the convenience, two things, of having to draw fuel out, and it makes for a better consistency if the tanks are the right size. And of course, we're going to make the inboard tank maybe 1/8 of an inch longer, so that hopefully the outboard engine will shut off most times first. Always better if the outboard engine shuts off first. I'm going to bolt this all back together during the course of the day, and hopefully this weekend get out and do some more testing. Well, what I had to make here is it's finally stopped raining. In fact, we still have some puddles. I needed to make a thing. Now, since I've assembled this, put this all back together, what I wanted to do, of course, is ground run both of the engines. They have different Venturis in them now, smaller Venturis, they're 275s. And I wanted to get just a rough idea, because I'm making up other tanks. I wanted to get a rough idea of how much fuel this would use. So what I'm going to do is, using the fuel that I have mixed up for the bomber, what I'm going to do is run each engine independently and then run them both at the same time and get a time. What I'm looking for is a total time. Now, this isn't really a stooge, it's just a heavy piece of wood, and I bolted the stooge to it, so I'd be able to just do this on my own. Russ is getting his car repaired today, but he may be here tomorrow. So of course, the objective with everything I do is to be able to do everything on my own, if at all possible. And I have that rack that we used to have the bomber sit in downstairs, that when we're done, I can put it in the rack, turn it over, clean it up, wax it, wipe it off, or whatever. But this is going to be a big asset, just having this available to me. Just being able to run engines on this is just a giant, giant asset. They don't love you already. This will help. This test is really going to be just to see how long it runs 4 ounces of fuel. In fact, I need to get the gun. Start to record this. And the only problem with this is it's difficult getting the battery off, but I haven't figured out what to do about that yet.
The next thing is going to be to try a plug.
Okay, this run, we put a Thunderbolt plug in the outer engine.
That's the one that's been kind of funky.
Now you can see one of the things, I guess from these, and I'll put a little bit of this on the video, one of the things that's real handy to have is a way with a twin engine plane, you can do this alone.
Here's the other thing that's handy, is having a rack. Now in this case we want to wipe it off. I want to change the plugs. Among other things, I got 3 or 4. I want to check all the engine bolts. Why do I want to do that? Take a wild guess.
After a couple hours out here,
In between the raindrops, I found out 2 things. The motors like the Thunderbolt plugs better than the Max 4-cycle plugs which we had put in at the field. The Thunderbolt plugs seem to run more consistently. The motors run just under 6 minutes on 4 ounces of fuel, so we can pretty much assume we're going to wind up with 4-ounce tanks. I'll be kind of happy with that. But I'm in the middle of making some tank bodies and shells for customers, so this is one of the things I'll be able to do. And if we need just a little more mileage, we'll be able to put an air filter on the motor or some of the other traditional things. Anyway, we're pretty much ready to get some flights, and Rich, tomorrow is the day we're going to try to fly Rich's new Stuka for the first time. And I'm really looking forward to it. Like any new plane, it's always a challenge to trim it out. Having this thing is just really nice. Now the only thing I really screwed up on is I got to figure a way to put this on the roof of the car so I could have it at the field more conveniently. It fits in a roof rack, but it's just a hassle getting it on here. I know what I need is a trailer truck. Anyway, Tiger Cats, Schmeiger Cats. This was a good session, and we learned the stooge works fine. This thing, it's handy having this out here. We're going to clean the plane up, and tomorrow morning hopefully be out at the field nice and early. Well, I spent quite a bit of time
cleaning this up after those runs and trying to go over every bolt, every prop nut, every wheel collar. Because we're really looking forward to the weather's supposed to clear tomorrow, and we're really hoping, hope of all hopes, that we're going to get the Stuka flown and get some more flights on the bomber. Well, it's the day we're going to fly Rich's Stuka. It rained a little bit, it rained a lot. Everything looks wet, but it's like we think we can run some joggers over here. Anyway, let's hope we get a day that we can get Rich's plane trimmed from. He's feeling still depressed about having crashed his other plane, so this will cheer him up if this one flies well. We've had quite a bit of rain. I didn't know we had this much rain. Jeez, in fact, we've had a lot of rain. Holy crap. Oh, man. See, now down in Rutherford, we didn't have anywhere near this much rain, but look at what we got here today. Oh, looks like they're working on the field. Oh, my God, look at this rain. Oh, jeez. I'm glad I have an aqua car here. Okay, Rich. Wow. What a mess. But believe it or not, the field doesn't look too bad. Oh, look at that smile. Now tell me that doesn't look good. You're not happy with the way that came out?
Oh, I like it.
Oh, that yellow looks great. That looks good.
I haven't,
Oh, you didn't put the wheel pants on yet?
no, I have the wheel pants.
Yeah, but you does save them. You don't need them today.
These are the,
That looks good.
I brought these for you
What's that?
to adjust the flaps.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't need to adjust anything. I did it once, it's done.
Oh, is it?
That's good to have them. Leave them in your car. You may need them today. All right.
I have the
Yeah, that yellow looks good.
Yeah, it stands out. There's no question about it. Compared to the other one you wouldn't see.
You don't have the first flight jitters. I got coffee with me if you got the jitters. Let's see the bottom.
I taped the hinges.
Yeah, that's important.
I went to the guy in the corner. He had.
Yeah.
I went nuts. Yeah. Last night I said, let me try this guy.
Yep.
And he had it. So I went ahead and finished it.
All right. Let's run it on the ground once before you put lines up. Run it and tighten the engine, because I noticed this jerky guy from Rutherford, the engine flew out of his plane. You got boots? Actually, you know, with all the rain we had, the field is still flyable.
Oh, that's good.
There's a couple little, yeah.
There's a couple of puddles, but I don't think they're going to interfere with it.
Anybody's seen, we've been working on this field. In fact, I got if you look down by the van, I got the weed whacker here. We're going to try to trim some of this today. And we made a little agreement with the park. They're going to bring us the rest of the fence, and Rich and I are going to put it up. Anyway, first flight of the Stuka. The seaplane Stuka. It's about our field. We never get a flying field where there aren't geese. Just to give you an idea, like, well, this is what we got to deal with. They're just everywhere. It's unbelievable. Looking for the little goslings. I guess all the goslings have grown up already. It's fun. Every day you come to the field, the goslings are about a pound bigger than the day before. Look at this. Now, I don't know how Rich feels, but I think this one looks a lot better than the other one. The yellow really helps it stand out. The cockpit detail is much nicer. The little shading and the airbrush work adds a little dimension to it. And I think Rich will just feel a lot better if he could just get a couple flights on it. Oh boy, the first day you fly a plane, any new plane, it's always the first flight jitters. Now he's concerned because this plane is 70 ounces, but I'm not. I don't think 70 ounces is going to deter this in any way. But we really do want to run it on the ground once, and then look around and make sure something cowlings aren't falling off, motor mount bolts, things like that.
any new plane, you always have these little, that's why we have these little teething problems. But one of the things we had with this, the prop face, this has an extension unit too, so it really was not as good as it should. Just tighten that to death. I thought you were scratching that. Come on, I could put another half a turn on that. Alright, I just wanted to make sure it didn't slip. So what we did, we didn't have a Dremel tool here, of course. We had to do it with a knife and just put these little scuffs on the prop.
We got it.
But that makes it better, okay. And the other thing was the needle valve on a road jet, that hole must face into the venturi. And when Rich flipped it over, it wasn't in the position it should be in. We got that resolved right now, but well, nice that we get, oh, now it's loose. Look at this. You lucky dog. Put a little oil on it.
It warmed up.
Oh, okay. Put a drop of oil on it. What happens, he's got an aluminum shaft and an aluminum nut, and it sticks. So now that it's warm, he was able to get it out. Just put a drop, one drop. Don't. All little teething problems. The day somebody builds a plane without teething problems, be like having a baby that doesn't cry. Or having a wife that runs your business while you're out flying every morning.
Yeah. That's good.
When you find them, buy a dozen.
I'll tell you one thing, boss, he's getting annoyed at me.
Do you blame her?
Getting annoyed.
I heard she put a contract out like that.
She's not smiling as often as she...
Yeah, Rich is busy just getting the handle adjusted, and it looks like the day is hanging tough. But it's really, and boy, I've reinforced it in my own mind how important it is to get these things done before you put the first light on the plane. We could have had a prop flying off, and the needle valve where you couldn't adjust it properly, it would have really been a pain. What we're going to have to make is, Rich has the Bill Biles adjuster, and when the elevators are dead neutral, the flaps are down about 10 degrees, so we want to make that adjustment before he even takes a flight, because what will happen is that neutral is going to be, it's a screwed up thing. If you work off the elevators, the flaps are down when it's neutral, so Rich has a hatch, and he has a Bill Biles arrow shaft adjuster in there, so it makes that a lot easier than if you had to do it the old-fashioned way with the windy way with a razor blade. I'm glad, you know, this is good that we're the only two at the field here, because we're getting to straighten out a lot of stuff. This would have really been a pain to do on a Saturday, I could see that. When we got the whole menagerie here. What you want to do is basically shorten. Let me just see something. Let me see how much you got to go. You got to go quite a bit. You got to shorten it. Yes or no?
The turnbuckle in.
No, we got to make it longer. I'm wrong. The flaps are in neutral now. The push rod's got to be longer. Okay. Real happy with the way this worked out. What happened is, to get the neutral the way we wanted to, we had to open the adjuster up almost to the end. And I just felt that was not a good way, and in my way of doing it, that there just weren't enough threads holding on. So what I'm going to suggest is, after Rich flies, we're going to take a bigger arrow shaft once we get this set, cut it down the middle like two clamshells, go over that and fill it with JB Weld, and just put something on top of that. Now what I did, I made a little brace out of aluminum tube and put some zip ties on it, just as a safety thing, so he could fly it. I'm not sure. We're going to find out here, but I just thought that'd be cheap insurance. I guess these, and I didn't see how Rich had it, that when you expand them to a certain point, there's only 5 or 6 threads left in there, and I don't know. I mean, maybe that's fine, but like I said, when we get a permanent repair, I'm going to take an arrow shaft that's bigger than this, slit it down the middle, make 2 clamshells, and then press them around, and then wrap that with some carbon fiber. I think that'll be, but we've got the benefit of the, let's see if you got, now neutral's going to change. You got up now. Yeah, the handle's going to change every time you do that adjustment. And of course, the adjustable feature is very, very nice. But then what I would suggest is once you're done and it's permanent, then you've made the adjustment. In my case, what I do, I make the adjustment whenever I've used one of these, and I go home and make a push rod without that piece in it that length. So, I mean, that's just my, and I lose the weight. It's about 1/4 of an ounce. It's not a lot, but still, it's still some weight. But you get the benefit of having an adjustable push rod, and then you can make a permanent one. Assuming it's a take-apart, well, this is not a take-apart plane, so he can't really do that. But we've been patient through the prop faces. I mean, this was a lot of little things today. I'm glad we, it's worse now, you got a lot more up. Shorten the down line. Alright, once he gets his handle adjusted, we'll fuel it up, spray bar is corrected, prop faces are corrected, push rod is corrected. All that's left now is see if it flies. I don't know who looks more authentic, you or me. Me. You don't know, my hip is all black and blue. Yeah, I know. Well, you fell. You're not supposed to fall. I mean, it was bad enough that I crashed my plane. I had to go ahead and destroy my body, too. You build another plane. Oh, to speak, I slept very lightly because every time I turned over on that side, I know all about it. I know all about it. Take up motorcycle racing if you like aches and pains. You'll see. Alright, Chickadee, I'm ready. After all this work. See you better fly. That's all I got to say. I better see a big smile on your face when this is over. I want to see a smile on my face like the smile that you had on your face the first time you flew the bomber. Oh yeah. Just don't let that rag blow into the prop. I would be careful with that too. You know, a lot of little things. Tasty always has those things that it looks like those car mats or whatever he uses to fly right in. Alright, Stuka stunt. Show Matt Newman who the king of Stukas are. Ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Countdown. One shot. Just one. One, not two. I said two. Two shots. You can see why I moved the plane, because when you take off left-handed here, you tend to run right into that curb. Alright, and I wanted to record this for Rich. See if the wing looks level. Rich has put so much work into this, I just want to straighten that push rod out for him. There's something about first flights. I always like to record the whole first flight because years later, after the plane is fully trimmed, you look back and you say, wow, there it was. The first voyage of the Titanic. Anyway, we have made a commitment with Rich to work on this project he's planning for next year, a Stuka with a bent wing. And we're going to use a B-25 wing and put it in upside down so it still has the polyhedral. So I think it'll be a fun project one way or another. The wing looks up a little bit inverted. May need a little trim tab on the bottom. And what he did, he's got a prop that only has, I don't know, 3-something at pitch. It's low pitch. But luckily I brought a bunch of props. We're gonna put, this is a 65 and that'll turn a bigger prop. So it looks like the only correction so far that's pretty obvious is to get the motor running a little faster, a little more pitch in the prop. I always look back to the first day that Joe Adamusco flew the Spitfire, and when the glow plug I can't even keep up with this. The glow plug came out, and we were all laughing about it. And Danny Banjock had his first day with the P-51, and some of the adventures I've had, including with the one we just had with the A-26. I know when this is over, Rich will feel a lot better, a lot better. He may just need a little more tip weight. It looked like it was just up a hair inverted. That's why it's good to have the video. We get back to the shop, we'll look at it. Oh, and Mike Kajeski flew the Typhoon and stalled it out, and oh, he was ready to cry. Windy, windy, windy. I said, no problem, Mike. We still love you. Of course it's running, Rich. This is a brand new motor. We'll lean it out a little if he's going to fly it again. And or change the prop. Flight 2, we just went in on a needle just a little bit. We're only going to get 2 flights because Rich has got to go to work. Still looks a little on the slow side. May have to up the pitch in the prop a bit. Flight 2 of Rich's number 2, what we now call Stuka 2. we could go in a little more on the needle. It's still well into the motor range. Now it's up inverted. See, a little bit up, a little flap tweak will take care of that. And actually we're losing the air here. It's already almost 9:30. Motor's coming on and off real well, so it looks like what we need is more pitch in the prop. I think this one with the yellow nose, even though it's a cloudy day, it shows up a lot better in the stunt pattern. Yeah, we need a tap. It's going to need a little tweak to get the wing. He's got his tweaking blocks here too, so. Yeah, I'm excited about working with Rich on a bent wing Stuka. I think it's going to be a great project. Of course, we already have about 50 responses on email to our Tiger Cat project. We're already starting to save data, pictures, books, whatnot. Dave Downey's agreed to give us a hand with it, do some of the design work. Joe Adamusco seems real excited about it. Walt Russell seems excited. Well, Walt's already building a profile Tiger Cat. And John Brodak said he sold 400 Tiger Cat kits, so there must be somebody out there that likes Tiger Cats. It's 401 now. We're also going to be looking at, in the near future, Elliot Scott's doing some research, maybe being able to make DVDs instead of tapes, and getting digital equipment. Again, Elliot is the master at that end of it, but that may or may not happen this summer. Needless to say, we have a budget we're working in, and the equipment comes down in price every year, but it's still not free. And I really don't want to have the price of the videos or the DVDs go up. I mean, we're just at a point where I think we have a good audience. We have people worldwide enjoying these. So it may be that if the price went up, a lot of people, wouldn't be able to afford it or whatever. And we've had to eat, actually, in the last 15 years, about 5 postal increases. And we've never raised the price of the tapes from the first tape I made to now. It's always been... Don't you wish gasoline was like that? I mean, gas is about $2.30 a gallon here. Don't you wish... I guess he's just going to fly it out. Just fly it out! You don't know if it's going to run out of gas yet, and it is running Rich. Rich Jacobone, congratulations on a good plane. I think this is going to be a good one. Built around a cardinal wing, which all of his are. I think this is going to trim out to be a good plane real soon. Why don't you wipe the plane off with Windex, not water? First day, Rich Jacobone, Stuka 2. There's our friends, the Goslings. These little fuzzballs. Our trouble is they grow up to be these big things. I guess Mama's protecting her Goslings. It was good to see Richard's plane flew so well. What I did, I found some more tubing, some more pieces, and I'm going to lay out another set of, these are the ones Bob Zambelli made, I'm going to lay out another set of headers. I just want to have a spare set more than anything else, and of course, anything we can do, if you have a spare set, you know almost nothing ever breaks. And then we send it out to Scott Dinger. He has been gracious enough to weld these up for us in the past and return them in a pretty good turnaround time. So if anybody has any question, he's in Pampa, Scott Dinger.
yesterday in the mail from Gerard Musco and Dave Downey. Needless to say, this is F7 Tiger Cat. Now, one of the things, if you notice real quickly, notice how small a Tiger Cat is. It's a one-pilot airplane. It's not actually a bomber. It's a fighter. Look how big the motors are in relation to the plane. That's because it's a fighter and not a bomber. It's F7. Anyway, I think first off, what's nice is the lines of the plane are very sleek. Body is relatively thin. And what I was clueless about was just how many people had an interest in Tiger Cats. When I made my little request out on my email list, I got a lot of information, pictures, and people had already thought of the Tiger Cat as a tentative project. Obviously, one of the things we're going to have to look for is more documentation. Look how slender that body is in relation to the plane. That is some nice. This is really going to be a fun project. The nacelles, unlike the A26, are totally tapered, so that's going to mean a lot of layout work getting the formers right. Nothing we haven't done before. But even in the very beginning of doing a project like this, you really just start thinking about it and start becoming inspired with the possibilities. Very distinct rudder shape. As far as I remember, there was one of these in Harrisburg. I'll have to try to find out if it's still out there. Maybe make a little quick trip out there. That could be some very, very sexy stunt plane. I don't know, I think the B-25 is getting jealous already that we have a new girlfriend in the shop. I guess that's the point, is you have to be passionate about something in life, or what's the point? What's the point of getting up in the morning if you're not passionate, looking forward to something that really gets your blood boiling? It has laid out several of these line drawings, and of course, because of the Boeing CAD, what he has an ability to do here that's very nice is he can make the wing bigger and smaller, move the moment arms back and forth, make the nacelles bigger and smaller. He's got a lot of choices here. So this is really going to be, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this is going to lay out in full scale in relation to the other bombers, the other twin-engine planes. I just think this is going to be the ultimate twin-engine plane.
Highway Division not only had a whale of a problem on its hands, it had a stinking whale of a problem. What to do with one 45-foot, 8-ton whale dead on arrival on the beach near Florence? It had been so long since a whale had washed up in Lane County, nobody could remember how to get rid of one. In selecting its battle plan, the Highway Division decided the carcass couldn't be buried because it might soon be uncovered. It couldn't be cut up and then buried because nobody wanted to cut it up, and it couldn't be burned. So dynamite it was, some 20 cases or a half-ton of it. The hope was that the long-dead Pacific gray whale would be almost disintegrated by the blast, and that any small pieces still around after the explosion would be taken care of by seagulls and other scavengers. Indeed, the seagulls had been standing nearby all day. As everything was being made ready, we asked George Thornton, the highway engineer in charge of the project, for his final observation. Well, I'm confident that it'll work. The only thing is we're not sure just exactly how much explosives it'll take to disintegrate this thing so the scavengers, seagulls, and crabs and whatnot can clean it up. Is there any chance it might be more than a one-day job? If there's any large chunks left, and we may have to do some other cleanup, possibly set another charge. The dynamite was buried primarily on the leeward side of the big mammal, so that most of the remains would be blown toward the sea. About 75 bystanders, most of them residents who had first found the whale to be an object of curiosity before they tired of its smell, were moved back a quarter of a mile away. The sand dunes there were covered with spectators and land lubber newsmen, shortly to become land blubber newsmen, with the blast blasted blubber beyond all believable bounds. Stopped rolling immediately after the blast. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. Pieces of meat passed high over our heads while others were falling at our feet. The dunes were rapidly evacuated as spectators escaped both the falling debris and the overwhelming smell. A parked car over a quarter of a mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk. The passenger compartment literally smashed. Fortunately, no human was hit as badly as the car. However, everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whales. As for the success of the effort, well, the seagulls who were supposed to clean things up were nowhere in sight, either scared away by the explosion or kept away by the smell. That didn't really matter. The remaining chunks were of such a size that no respectable seagull would attempt to tackle anyway. As darkness began to set in, the highway crews were back on the beach burying the remains, including a large piece of the carcass which never left the blast site. It might be concluded that should a whale ever wash ashore in Lane County again, those in charge will not only remember what to do, they'll certainly remember what not to do.
That little video clip John Pothier put on my computer, and I've watched that 100 times. Everybody that's in the shop, we watch it over and over again. It just blows my mind. That is a government gone awry at its best. Anyway, thanks to John Pothier. All right, back to working in the shop.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take that aluminum tube off that we put a temporary aluminum tube just so he could get 2 flights this morning as a little support. Let's cut that tube off. You got little tiny wire cutters?
I got it out of the car.
Yeah, a little, no. I think I got some here too. My beautiful tools. The little tiny ones.
Thanks.
We got some flights this morning and it looked like this is going to be a very, very nice flying plane. Got the big carbon fiber cowling on there. He's got the wheel pants finished up. The weathering. Some nice cockpit detail. But what we're going to do is take one of my oversized arrow shafts, I've said this already, but split it down the middle and put one piece on each side right over that joint to reinforce that joint. Because when I think it's that, and we had to adjust this at the field, I don't know how many threads are left on each end, and I have no way of knowing. But we already made the adjustment and it's turning nice and equal. So, well, I just don't want to have anything real high risk because again, Rich has crashed his #1 plane when you're down to having one Stuka in your Air Force.
Flying recently.
Now here's the split arrow shaft. Rich is just holding it while the epoxy dries. Then what we're going to do is wrap it with carbon fiber, put another coat of epoxy or CA on the outside of it. And I think we'll both sleep better at night and maybe get out to the field tomorrow morning. You'll be ready to lean on this engine, huh?
I hope so.
Ready to give it the Rojet wiggle. Too bad you didn't bring a prop. I would like to pitch a prop. What is this? This a stock one?
It's a
Well, is that the one?
13.4.
Okay.
And I pitched it to 12.5 8. 3.8.
Not enough pitch. You need more for this. Don't forget, you got a draggy thing here. This is like a bomber thing. It's draggy.
Yeah.
Last step is we wrapped it with carbon tow. As soon as that kicks off, we'll wrap the other end with carbon tow. And you're ready to go up to the flying field, baby. Another great Stuka repair.
Now tonight we're slated to go to Hoboken, right outside of New York City, to see our daughter and our son-in-law play in one of the nicer clubs in Hoboken. So share this moment with us. We really enjoy this. This is one of the things we enjoy, supporting the kids in their musical, hopefully successful career. And we're at the Old Hawk to see Stacy Rose.
Yes, do you know that great feeling you get when you check out at the market? You know, when you buy groceries, that exciting feeling. I thought there needed to be a song about that. The song was really the world was lacking a song about shopping. Cool. That's how deep I am. So much fun playing down there, I just been dancing. I'm in love to see you. It'll be the first thing I've had at first, and I've had it all time back to me. I know, crying my cup too much talking has to shut me up. So I'm walking on as long as I die. I'll give up.
You can see today isn't much of a flying day, but we're on our way. In fact, we're here at Home Depot. We're going to get some supplies to work on a field over the weekend, some blacktop sealer and other little things that we need. So use a rainy day to your good advantage. Go to Home Depot. Rich and I have hay. This is what you do on a rainy day when you're a control line stunt flyer. The Stuka man! And you had to do this when I wasn't around. I could have gotten this on video. Ah, the bunker. Rich's bunker room. Oh, I see it from here. The two wingtips are in the same spot. How can that be? Oh, nothing good can happen now. Oh, good thing you know Wendy. Oh, man.
What is this?
Yeah, I did it. Well, don't throw the pieces away.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's
What a
terrible.
shame. Look at this.
Man alive. That is a shame.
You were flying this pretty good, too.
Yeah, I was flying it
Look at
well.
this, you can see the little cockpit in there.
Yeah,
The little pedals.
I was flying it well. I really got used to it.
Well, one thing you could do is take the motor and
Yeah, I'm
tank
gonna
that.
take the motor out.
Just give me the plane. Don't give me the all the peripheral stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this. I was gonna make a new cow,
You don't have to.
but
We'll fix that one. Because the screws already line up and everything. You just
Yeah.
when you got to do a paint, while you got it, paint it yellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. Let me see the wing. How bad was the wing? Right in the middle. It broke right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
This is what, a Bobby Hunt wing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Broke right down the middle. No
Right in the
problem.
middle.
That's where they always
You want to
break.
know something? The paper didn't even break. This
Yeah.
is the thing
Yeah,
that
the paper's the strongest part. The
Yeah.
paper's stronger than the wood. Well, what a shame it had to break the canopy.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to fix.
Well, I'm gonna have
Well,
to
we
patch it.
cut it right off and put a new canopy on there.
Well, I was
No,
thinking.
I mean, it's not irreparable, don't get me wrong. In fact, this is, because the nose is off, it's easy to glad, that's 2-3 days of work.
Oh, for you, it's 2 to 3 days of work.
No, it'll be, hey,
This is right here.
well, this is cosmetic. This is the outboard tip?
This is the outboard tip.
You're gonna have Bondo instead of tip weight from now on. That's no problem. And you'll have yellow wingtips. See, this is how you improvise. This will be yellow. You make a Matt Newman thing with yellow wingtips. A yellow cowling, it doesn't have to match. The cowling doesn't have to match.
The readouts.
But just take the, here's what you gotta do. Take the motor.
You gotta go in there with the fish hook and.
Don't worry about that. Take
I'll take the motor
all
out.
the hardware out. I don't wanna have the hardware there. It's just, it's in my way.
Yeah, shit.
After the Nats, we'll spend 3-4 days fixing it up.
You see what I'm talking about? It broke right
Yeah.
where the epoxy let go.
But if it didn't break, what would happen, this would, you see what happened? It would
Yeah.
take this with it.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, like an old Vico Chief, how they used to
Yeah.
break the nose and you glue it back on and fly again. But if you pull it all apart, forget it.
All my
What
excellent.
is this? The bolts that hold the cowling?
Yeah,
Is it
this was
the studs or-
for the plate.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
It tore right off.
Oh, sure. You got that piece though, right?
Oh, I got this piece. Well, I can make another one. That's nothing.
Yeah, okay.
To make another piece for this, it's.
But I know making a cow's a lot of work.
Yeah,
That's-
I may make another one. When
Lot of work.
I was going to make another one anyhow, because, you see, this doesn't come down far enough.
Well, can you use the mold that we have, or?
No.
They don't
No,
interchange?
No, but then I'll whittle it, you know.
Yeah, okay. That's
Nothing
nice.
that's-
You should send this to Gene Martin and say a Gene Martin size prop. They'll love you. You know how to hurt a guy. So what, did you fly Strega the other day?
I flew it, yeah.
Old Strega?
But of
New
course,
Strega?
I'm not used to it.
Yeah, well,
This flies well. You know, I used to fly it reasonably well. And it's in still good shape, you know, it's still in good shape.
Yeah.
It's a shame I don't have any room. You see,
yeah, that's the problem with my
I
garages.
don't have any room.
Look at this, you got no room either.
It's a disaster area. But these guys,
These guys pay cash though, right?
Yeah.
These lawyers? He's got lawyers storing stuff here.
these guys yesterday, they
We
were
could
here-
jury rig a couple of cases. Hey, here's Ernowski's lawsuit.
They were here all day yesterday.
Yeah, I see.
They cleared out a lot of the cabinets, all of these.
I see they have a complete security system.
Well, this is all stuff that they use. See, it's all empty now.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these cabinets are
Wow.
empty. So I'm hoping maybe they'll decide to, see, look, all of this is empty.
Yeah,
But they still have files.
It's nice to know when you go to a lawyer that they do professional storage.
But this is their archive.
Oh, man. And your equipment looks as neat and clean as it ever did.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's as
You wanna
clean
know
and
something?
neat. Hey, you're making money, that's all that matters.
Use it. And if
I know.
you know,
If you clean it-
I have a friend who has
See,
a machine shop.
Let me show you something. This is what I like. I tell people, tools that look like this. This is a tool, this is how a tool should look. Not shiny and chrome and, Les, I make Les crazy. Les has all these chrome tools and
I
nothing
have
ever
a
gets
friend.
done.
I have a friend. He's a fanatic. You should see his equipment.
Oh, a German guy with the other. Got
He's
the
got-
machine shop.
He's got a machine shop. Everything is spotless.
Yeah, like a
Everything is-
hospital.
Everything is shiny.
Yep.
But he doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, his machine shop. In the
I'm
basement-
impressed. Now that's a wrench. Now I could relate to that wrench.
His machine shop
Yep.
in the basement has got to be worth $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
Probably more. And he looks at this and he gets sick. He says to me, "Oh,
Nah, this
why
is
do you
the-
do this?"
This is the kind of machine I like.
I use this machine, and
Dub Jet wouldn't be too impressed with this
No.
machine, would he?
But I'll tell you
We're
what.
gonna send Dub a copy of this tape.
His stuff.
Hey, Dub, they're making road jets up here. Look at that stuff.
His stuff isn't
Oh,
much cleaner than mine. I know.
yeah, but you made a lot
He
more.
uses.
Hey, you're making stuff.
But the point is, this stuff is horrible. This
Yeah.
is very abrasive.
I know.
Okay?
You just run up and put some of this in somebody's fuel can.
Oh, forget it.
They're going to be buying a new motor. That's all right. So don't worry about the Stuka. The Stuka's as
Don't worry.
good as
Easy for
repaired.
you to say, don't worry.
Now, what we do on every rainy day, on the trains. This is especially for you, Ed Cotton. We have been enjoying holding power. We even have an extra steam engine right now. Well, we have two. A Berkshire out the back. Looks like a great day to spread driveway sealer on the field. See, Rich has beat me to the punch here. Anyway, the wind is howling 100 miles an hour here, and we're expecting another storm to come through. There's all water on the field and everything, so sometime we just have to cut our losses and live to fight another day. We'll do this driveway. We want to put driveway sealer out where the field is going to be, where the Stooges are, and where we're going to launch planes from, just to keep the dust down. But that's all we're going to do today. The progress we made, but we really have spent. We made a takeoff area, and we have 6, 7 guys here. They went for more driveway sealer. We ran out of sealer. Then we have a space down here for the Stooge, a real nice space, about 20 feet long. And we got the middle of the circle, so we're waiting to get more driveway sealer. And we have put our heart and soul into this field, which of course you still have a section of it that's difficult to land with like wheel pants or something, but for flying, I mean, we're beggars can't be choosers, and we're not losing a flying day. In fact, this whole holiday weekend it's supposed to be very breezy. But what's nice about it, the camaraderie of the club, everybody pitches in. Rich is doing some sweeping, Brian's got a blower, Jimmy Damarell and Tom Hampshire went for more sealer, and we build a little camaraderie this way. And at the end of the day, we have a good one. We hope we're going to have a nice, almost a half a donut here. So when we have guests and people fly here or contests or whatever, it'll be real nice. We're even cleaning up the pits over there. Rich is cleaning up the pits. got the crew out. We got 2 more buckets of this stuff. A total of 5 buckets. And we have basically used a day you couldn't do anything else to make some nice upgrades on our field. See how much rain we had in the last couple of days. Unbelievable. But in the course of this day, and it was a significant day, it looks like we have a real nice takeoff area. We have two areas for stooging. The idea of stooging down at that end is you can't land here, and by the time you touch down here, the plane usually rolls there, and if you're by yourself, you have to drag the line. So the best place, if you have a choice with a stooge, is going to be where the plane ultimately winds up, the rollout stops. And we made 2 areas for Rich. He can take off backwards, we can take off clockwise or counterclockwise. And we have one downwind, we have one upwind. But that's the story of the day. The day is just completely crazy. That's a 20-mile-an-hour windsock, and it's just crazy windy here. Maybe Raul will fly later. He's got his world champion speed model here. We don't know. He says it goes 100 miles an hour. We clocked it at 62 last week, so I don't know about that. But like everything, part of being successful in life is learning how to use a lousy day and how to take advantage of some of the things we don't have a choice about, the weather. I think we've made good use of a pretty crappy day. And if we get a nice day tomorrow, this will all be dried up. This is what I like the best. At the end of a hard day of doing driveway sealing and not getting one single flight, coming home to the downtown beautiful streets of Rutherford. Boy, Rutherford is beautiful this time of year. Springtime 2004. It's a pleasure coming home. Beautiful downtown Rutherford. You know, I think it would be better if our cardinal would let us look at her babies. And somehow I don't think she wants us to do that. Hello? What? Our plant that came all the way from Texarkana. Flowers blooming. Oh, don't want to scare the birds out of the nest here. And a man comes home from a beautiful day of doing driveway sealer to see the creative wife. What are we making? A chandelier for the kids?
Yes. It was an old brass chandelier in terrible condition.
You put rub and buff on it? That looks pretty good.
I cleaned it. I'm using rub and buff.
Wow.
I have the crystal silking. So, in an hour, it'll be a beautiful chandelier.
Maybe I could get you to come and do some driveway sealing. Wait till you see the field, Karen.
I don't think so.
The field looks like the A&P parking lot in Beirut. I'm telling you, it looks really good. Yeah, we worked hard today. Well, the wind won this round of the playoffs, but trust me, I'm going to try to count my baby fish. There's so many baby fish here, we can't even count them. They're just everywhere. We will live to fight another day, and that other day will hopefully be tomorrow. Check out our baby birds. Check out our baby fish. A beautiful place to be this time of year, Rutherford, New Jersey. Well, maybe it was worth waiting. This looks like it's going to be a much nicer day. Let's hope. Oh, they're already doing construction work. Look at this action. What are they doing to our field now? Ah, they got the boards ripped off the bench. Wasting all this good air. Well, it turned out to be a nicer day than we expected. We hope we're going to get some bomber flights, but unfortunately we're at the end of this tape, so we're going to try to get some of Jim Damerel's first flight. He's firing up the JD Falcon with a Roadjet 40, and we can get some footage of this. And then we'll see you on the next tape. Prop doesn't come loose, the motor just comes out of the plane. The new Stuka.
You hear what he said, Brian? So I don't have that problem. My
prop never gets loose, the whole motor just comes out of the plane. First flight of Jim Damerel's JD Falcon. We'll just let the machine run out of tape. This will be the last thing on this tape. Sounds like he's got the motor right where he wants it. It's a rear exhaust, but not a tune pipe, a muffler. The little muffler that I think it's the same as Tom Niebuhr uses on his JD Falcon. Seems to be a real nice power match to the design. Jimmy shot some good footage of the bomber there the first day. Uh-oh. Sounds like something's not happy here. But we will see you on the next tape.
Yeah, the crowd was going wild.
A showman.
Yes.
Now, what is this action you got going on here? You got a thing to restrain it?
Yeah, a little bit. So you
All right.
Where's the one?
Okay, Brian, come to your ambulatory.
You got a filter in here, right, Rich? Let's clean the filter the first thing. We didn't clean it the first 3 times. Nothing loose here. Is the header loose? It's cool. Header's not loose.
It doesn't appear to be.
No. Maintenance. Well, we're going to pick this up on the next tape. We'll see you on the next tape. Looks like we're going to have a good day.